Good morning and welcome to Wednesday morning. What day is it today? The 27th of October, that's what day it is. And we are moving on today to the greater righteousness. The last few days we were on the law, which had a number of good writings. This one, however, only has two, and one of them maybe not so good. So this one is based out of Matthew 5:20 in the Sermon on the Mount. For I tell you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, you will certainly not enter the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:20. Our devotion today is very brief. I promised you briefer ones, so I'll kind of work out the average with today's. I know they've been just as long as the ones before. This one's by Oswald Chambers. Good stuff. You should, if you haven't read any of his devotions, if you haven't read any of his books, you need to do that. Real spirituality and depth of spirituality to the man. Oswald Chambers on the greater righteousness. Is it too strong referring to this passage in 5:20 that our righteousness has to surpass that of the Pharisees? Is it too strong to call this a spiritual torpedo? These statements of Jesus are the most revolutionary statements human ears ever listened to, and it needs the Holy Spirit to interpret them to us. The shallow admiration for Jesus Christ as a teacher that is taught today is of no use. Who is going to climb that hill of the Lord? To stand before God and say, "My hands are clean, my heart is pure." Who can do it? Who can stand in the eternal light of God and have nothing for God to blame in him or her? Only the Son of God. Jesus says our disposition must be right to its depths. Not only our conscious motives, but our unconscious motives. Now we are beyond our depth. Now can God make me pure in heart? Blessed be the name of God. He can. Can he alter my disposition so that when circumstances reveal me to myself, I am amazed? He can. Can he impart his nature to me until it is identically the same as his own? He can. That and nothing less is the meaning of his cross and resurrection. And it is then that our righteousness can surpass that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law. You see, their righteousness was a man-made one. They kept the rules. They made their own rules first, and then they kept them, and they saw themselves as righteous. And so Jesus is letting us know that's not good enough. That's shallow. That's a doing your own works kind of righteousness, calling your own shots kind of righteousness. Got to be greater than that. The only way to have a greater righteousness is to allow the righteousness of Christ to be in us, to be put to our account, as one passage says. He references one passage from Psalms. Who can ascend the hill of the Lord? He who has clean hands and a pure heart is the answer that comes back. And there's no way for us to have a clean heart, a pure heart and clean hands, unless it's the result of the work of Christ and the Holy Spirit in our lives. That's the greater righteousness, greater than self-righteousness, that's for sure. The righteousness of Christ put in us, taught to us, melded into us, and changing us. And God causing all things to work together for good to them that love him, to them that love his appearance, and them that are being fashioned and shaped by him into the image of Christ. Blessings to you today. May your righteousness be the righteousness of Christ in you and lived out through you. Blessings.